Hellos, my name's Sarah. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you're all well. It's been a couple of weeks since I've done a Friday sews. As I mentioned, when it gets into term time, work gets a bit crazy. I keep getting ill in all of the holidays, and so I'm trying to pace myself a bit better to get through the work commitments of this term. And that just means I'm not pressuring myself as much to get stuff made up quickly or to get a vlog filmed. I think probably I might be able to quite comfortably do a Friday sews every 2 weeks because that gives me a bit of time to actually do stuff in the interim. So we'll see. But yeah, it's not going to be, I think in the holidays, I've obviously got a bit more to share because I have more time. But at the moment, I'm just trying to get to a point where I don't wipe out the first 2 weeks of every holiday because I'm so sick. So yeah, I've got a couple of things to show you because I've had some time. So there's one thing behind me that's finished, and then I've got another work in progress. And I thought I'd just give you a bit of a life update too. So it's a bit of a weird year for us. Anyone who's watched us for a while will know that we're not living in our house at the moment. So we're living in a house with my parents whilst we have our house well, it was initially, we were just putting an extension on it, but it's become this like massive thing. So we moved out of the house in like the end of July, early August. And the initial plan was to just knock down the existing bathroom and build, like basically move the bathroom into the old kitchen and then build a sort of bigger kitchen extension. But it's an old house basically, and it just has we had lots of problems with damp. Every time they sort of removed something, there'd be some other problem. So it's ended up being a much bigger job. And in the end, our entire house has been stripped out and replaced. We went to see the builder the other day and he was like, ultimately, it's actually great because the inside is just, everything's new. But yeah, it has meant it's been like a bigger expense than we'd anticipated. It's taken up much more time. And we're now having to think about, okay, what do we want the whole house to look like? The main rooms, so the bedrooms and the living room, are staying as they are in terms of they'll have new plaster. We're filling in the fireplace downstairs, not permanently, but we don't ever really use the fire, so we're just sort of having it covered over so that we could revive it in future if we wanted to. All of the floors came up downstairs and we had damp proofing put down. We had really bad damp problems, so the floors came up. It was apparently like a swamp underneath, so they sorted that out, put damp proofing down, put new concrete down, so all of the floors are new. Everything's rewired, replumbed, like all of the pipes were sort of disintegrating. It's just, it was a mess. But we're getting there now. And we'll be repainting and just sort of thinking about how we want the house to be. We'd lived in it we'll have had it 4 years this summer. So we've sort of lived in it enough to know, I think, what will work for us, which is really helpful. So they are at the point now where they should be plastering. So upstairs is all plastered. Downstairs will be plastered this week. And then they will start looking at fitting the bathroom and tiling the bathroom and then fitting the kitchen as well. We have a few more things to suss out, but it's really almost at a place where we can go in and paint. So we're not doing loads, but we're doing like more than enough. We're doing what we're able to. Do you know what I mean? We have to know our limitations. So we need to prime every wall and every ceiling and then paint them the colours we want them to be. We need to paint the stairs, and then I think we're going to have a runner down the stairs, just because we had a carpet before and the dog was like, it was chaos. It was chaos. We have a large dog and she was sort of ripping the carpet up everywhere every time she came down the stairs. And upstairs, they uncovered the original floorboards, which is the only thing in the house they've uncovered that hasn't been falling apart. The floorboards upstairs are actually really good. And we wanted wooden floors upstairs, so we are going to try and revive the original floorboards. So sand and stain and varnish, and hopefully we'll have beautiful floorboards, which is amazing. So there's all of that, and then we have the garden to contend with. So, and also in amongst that, I'm going to be building my new craft room. I started sewing after we moved into the house, so it started off as a corner of the spare bedroom, and now it's going to be very much a craft room and a guest bedroom. But I have free reign on what I do with that, so that's going to be, I don't know how, I think my sewing will be quite disrupted over sort of June, July, because we're going to be decorating and moving. So I won't have as much time to sort of sew. So I don't know what I'm going to do at that point, but I'll just do my best. It's all you can do. So yeah, so that's sort of what's at the forefront of my mind at the moment. And I'm very excited to get my craft room built. I recently watched Ruan, the Yorkshire Sew Girl, has had a video. I think it's been quite spread out, but she sort of upgraded her craft room, and I watched the latest installment the other day, and it's really interesting to see, you know, things I have thought about, things I haven't thought about, and just get an idea to plan it. So I don't know, what would you have in your dream craft room? Let me know below. I think yeah, I think I know aesthetically what I want it to look like, but I also need to practically think we've got to have a sofa bed in there that can get out, and I want it to still feel like a nice place to sleep, not just like you're sleeping in a fabric shop. So I need I need to just sort of work a few things out, but I'm excited to get that done. And then aside from that, we had our 6-month wedding anniversary, which obviously we didn't do anything for because that's a made-up anniversary, but I just couldn't believe 6 months had passed. And then today, Nala and I, anyone who's in sort of Surrey or southwest London, me and Nala, we normally go for a walk by the river, which is near my parents' house, and I had the morning off, and I just thought, let's go to Richmond Park, go to the Isabella plantation and see all of the flowers in bloom. And I've heard it's really busy, but we went quite early and it was not busy at all, and it was honestly gorgeous. Like, I'll put some pictures up. It's like, oh, so beautiful. I haven't been there in years. I haven't been actually inside. I've been to Richmond Park a few times, but I think it's one of those things where, because I grew up by Richmond Park, near Richmond Park, and we would go all the time when we were kids, you sort of don't appreciate how amazing it is to have something like that right there. So I really felt like I appreciated Richmond Park today. It was really nice. So yeah, things have been good. Just busy, but good. Now, enough of me, as usual, blethering on about nothing. Let me talk to you about some of my makes. Now, this one behind me I've been talking to you about for a while. I do not have any pictures of myself wearing this, like, proper pictures yet. And part of this is because I can't work out where to take a picture of it. So there's not really, normally I take my pictures outside, but I feel like it's a bit weird to have a picture like in a dressing gown in the garden. And inside there's nowhere that quite has the right space or the right light or the right like vibe. So there's part of me that's thinking I might just wait until until our bathroom's fitted and all brand new, and then I might just take some pictures of it there, like before we've even moved in. That's what I'm thinking. But that will be in a few weeks, like 3 weeks, maybe more. I don't know how long it'll take them to fit the bathroom, to be honest. So yeah, so I'm just going to talk to you about it now. I will eventually have pictures in a bit more detail. I've got a couple of pictures, but they're not like proper ones. So I'll put in the picture that I do have here, which is sort of a close-up of some of the details. Now, this is the Lygon Robe, which is a Cashmerette Club pattern. So the Cashmerette Club is a monthly subscription service. I am not currently signed up, but I was initially, and I'm toying with signing up again. I'll let you know why in a second, but this was one of the patterns that came out when I was subscribed, so I had the pattern. It's a great robe pattern. I'll put a couple of pictures here. They don't have examples in the toweling, but I thought it would work, and it does work. There are a couple of things that I've omitted. So it's a classic robe pattern. It has pockets, like patch pockets on the front. You got a nice waist tie, this lovely thick band here, and also on the sleeve you have a nice hem here. I think I've mentioned before, my reason for wanting to make this is because on our honeymoon we went to a spa, and I've been to a couple of spas before, and the robes are always tiny, and I just want my fluffy robe experience. So it sort of means if we go away to a nice hotel, or if I go to a spa or whatever, that I can just take my own. I'm probably going to add, I bought these letter patches that were sort of cursive gold embroidered letters. So I was going to put SQ on just so that they don't get muddled with, so they don't just sort of get bundled up with other people's when we go places. But I've bought the patches and then I don't know where they are. So when I find them, I will add those on as well. So there'll be like a little monogram, which I think will be kind of cute. Now, the fabric is from Minerva. I was gifted it as part of the brand ambassador program. They have it in loads of different colours. I went for a classic white. On the one hand, I was like, you can't go wrong with white. On the other hand, I'm a very messy person in a house full of dogs. So, you know, I do my best. The pattern was actually really easy to sew. I was sort of dreading it because I've only made one robe before. I think it was called the Kamakara robe. It's for my grandma, and it was using a satin fabric, and just getting the band on the band that goes all the way around was a nightmare. And it all sort of, it looked quite good, and then by the time I finished that, it was all sort of twisted and messy. This fabric is way easier. It's obviously much more forgiving because it's textured. It's lovely and fluffy and soft, but it just holds its shape. There are a couple of things that you have to do differently, like there are places where it asks you to press and it doesn't really hold being pressed, but you can just fold it and pin it and it doesn't like move around a lot. So I thought this is going well, and then I was like, am I going to get to the end and it's all going to be twisty? But as you can see, it's all gone on really, really nicely. As I said, there will be pictures of the full thing. I know I'm only showing you a little bit, but I've gone for the full length. It's a really classic robe. The only thing I haven't done, so the Lygon robe has this detail where all along the neckband and on the wristbands, there's this sort of top stitched detail. So imagine top stitched lines all the way down, this way, all the way down. And again, I just thought it was unnecessary on a fabric that's already quite textured. I think it's a nice detail on the right fabric, but this is already quite bulky, and I just thought, oh, it's a lot of work to do, and I just don't think it needs it for a classic robe. I always love cashmere. The fit on this is nice. It's cozy without it being swamped, so I feel like it fits me, but not that I've got like a huge toweling tent on. And the instructions are very clear, lots of good fitting tips. And it just, as I said, it came together a lot more quickly than I thought. The fabric is gorgeous and soft. It's really good quality. It leaves like quite a lot of residue. So like little, how would I describe it? It's like little beads of toweling like sort of come off. Do you know what I mean? Like the little individual fibres when you're cutting and sewing. So it does make a bit of a mess. But once it's sewn up, again, I haven't finished. A lot of the seams are actually enclosed anyway, but I haven't finished any of the seams and they've been fine. It hasn't frayed or anything. And overall, I've got a really nice robe. I know I haven't really shown it to Nathan yet because I know when I show it to him, he'll want me to make him one. And I just want to get on to sewing other things for me. So, so I'm just going to keep it hidden here until we have our new bathroom. So that's that, the Lygon Robe by Cashmere. Now, what I was saying about the subscription service, after a while, I stopped subscribing because they released a couple of patterns in a row, well, probably 3 patterns in a row where I was like, I'm not going to sew this. I think the one that really did it for me, there were these like knit trousers, and then they had like a sort of split bootleg flare thing at the bottom. And in hindsight, I'm like, you could probably turn those into workout trousers. But at the time, I was like, I just have no purpose for trousers like that. And so I decided to stop. But since then, they've had quite a few patterns that I like the look of. So I might, it depends if I'm feeling flush, because the thing is, when you sign up, you don't get all of the back patterns unless you buy the subscription, like the year subscription. And so I've been thinking, if I'm feeling a bit flush, because I am working a lot at the moment, I'm going to just keep an eye on the releases, and then I might just sign up for the annual subscription. Then you get the back patterns too. But yeah, I'm going to wait and see. They had a really nice coat pattern, and they've had a few other bits and bobs. They had a sloper dress pattern, which I thought would be really useful to have made my own sloper. So, yeah. So I'm thinking I will probably sign up to that again at some point. But at the moment, I'm just trying to sort of get through the things that I've committed to sewing. And my Jenny Stitches blog will be out at some point. I'm not sure when, but it will be soon-ish. So keep an eye out for that, because I can't show you the finished product until that is posted out there. At the moment, I'm working on something called I'm going to call it, is it Junko? I don't know. It's spelled Junko Jacket. It is by Copper Creek Patterns, who also, I'm not completely sure of the branding. It's the Dibby Club, Do It Better Yourself Club. It's all linked to that. Now, they approached me about being a pattern tester and about being a brand ambassador. And I said that I find it quite difficult to commit to pattern testing because I just find sticking to the windows quite hard with the nature of my work. So yeah, so then they were like, well, if you're a brand ambassador, then you can just do it in your own time, and you basically get to pick a pattern and then sew it up and then share your thoughts on it. And then when that's done, you can pick another pattern if you want. And so I've been wanting to make sort of a zip up top. Again, I was thinking sort of cozy vibes. They have a really good selection of hoodies and things on the website. They actually have loads of casual wear options. I ended up picking this jacket because it had some features that I liked. Now, I've sewn up, let me just get this the right way around. Here is the fabric. It is, you'll probably recognise it, like a By Graziela fabric. It's a French terry. And I bought this, I think, in the sales just after Christmas. And I can't remember the price, but I bought it at a reduced price. You will see here, there's a little zip pocket. This is one of the sleeves. So there's a little key pocket in one of the sleeves, which is very cute. There are also pockets, can I show you there, zip pockets on the front. And it will be a zip up top, basically. I've got the sleeves on. I've chosen, there are two options for the neckline. So there's a funnel neck or there's a hood. I decided to go with the funnel neck because it's just a bit different to things I already have. Now this is the current funnel neck piece. Now this will actually be the back of the funnel neck. So my hair's sort of going to be in the way here. But this will go behind, and then when I don't have all my hair here, there'll be a zip and zip. So we'll have a zip all the way down the front. And again, I've not used their patterns before. They are so clear. Like so clear. There's loads of fitting advice as well, which is amazing. So there's all the information on doing a full bust adjustment, or if you need to change it for your size or whatever. They have all of these links to inspiration, so other makes that people have made of the same pattern. And the instructions are really, really clear. At the start of each step, they tell you, there's a little box that says these are the pattern pieces you need. And then it just goes through, it describes everything in really good detail. It's just very, very clear and concise. And I've really enjoyed the construction. Again, I had sort of a moment because there were so many zips. There are 4 zips in all because of the design I've chosen. So 2 pocket zips, a key pocket zip, and the front zip. Yeah, there were just so many zips that I was sort of putting off making it because I was a bit stressed about the zips. But the construction has been really easy. The only bit I'm a bit nervous about now is I purchased quite a chunky zip for the front main zip because I just think that when you've got a zip that's in use a lot, it's better to have something that's really sturdy. And I purchased the length that it said in the pattern, but now I found a part saying that you might have to cut it, and I don't think I'm going to be able to cut that zip. So I'm going to see when I get to that part what I can do. Again, it has a link in the pattern when you click on it. It's PDF pattern, I should have said. When you click on the link in the pattern, it takes you to a tutorial on how to cut a zip properly and things like that. So, which is really good. But I think mine is going to be too chunky to cut. So I may have to wait until I have a suitable separating zip to finish it off. But I'm hoping to get lots of this done today and get this sort of more or less finished off, give or take a zip. So yeah, have you made any of the Copper Creek patterns? I did see there are a couple of their patterns that I seem to see quite regularly on my timeline. This jacket I had not seen anyone else make. And I definitely, it's 4 sort of slightly stretchy fabrics. And I've gone for one that I think to me this fabric is a bit like pajama-y. I think that's just how I feel about pastel colours sometimes, and the print. So this to me I think will be less of a jacket, but more of like an indoor cozy hoodie on a non-work day vibe. It's not even a hoodie, it's not even got a hood, what am I talking about? But yeah, it has made me think like, oh, maybe I just need to make one, because for dog walking and that sort of in-betweeny, not quite a coat, like basically now, where if it's not raining, it's still sometimes a bit too cold to like not have a coat at all, but if I wore any of my proper coats, it'd be too hot. So I am thinking something like that might be good for dog walking. So I might make a less conspicuous one. We shall see. Yeah, so that's that at the moment. I've got an endless list of honeymoon makes. My honeymoon is in October, but I think I'll probably start making them when we're settled back into the house, basically. because otherwise I just won't be able to get through the stuff I want to make. I also want to make maybe a shirt or two for Nathan. So yeah, I need to get on that. But prior to that, I have a few things. So I've got to finish this off. I have a couple of kids' clothes to make still, but for slightly older children. I'm going to my friend's wedding in May, and I have a Fabric Godmother peony dress cut out. I'm changing the skirt up so it's gathered because I think it just suits my proportions more. Yeah, so there are sort of plenty of things going on. I'm trying to just keep on top, just doing little bits of sewing here and there, and getting things done. We also have some of Nathan's family over from Trinidad. They come over, I think, on Saturday, but we're meeting up with them on Sunday for a nice lunch. So yeah, there's loads going on. I've ordered a couple of things that haven't turned up yet. So the fabric I told you about last time from Selvage and Bolts, the Dolce & Gabbana dead stock, that hasn't turned up yet, but it was a pre-order, so I knew that would take a while. I've also ordered some swimwear fabric from Fabric Godmother. I really want to make some swimsuits for our honeymoon. But I'm struggling with patterns. So I've got the Megan Nielsen Cottesloe curve. I've got the Ipswich, which is a cashmerette one. I'm struggling. What I'm not finding is I like my swimsuits to have like a little bit of ruching over the tummy, just so it's not so like, here's my tummy. Do you know what I mean? And I can't find any patterns that are size inclusive, or even, I don't think I've even spotted any that are not size inclusive, but where they have some sort of detail over the tummy area. It always seems to be like very straight cut over the tummy area. And then there are lots of different details around the shoulders. So I'm just sort of weighing up what I might want to do. I think Patterns for Pirates? I think they might have a few options. So yeah, I need to do a bit more. And then there's part of me that's like, do I just make a simple one for fit? So do I just make, because the Cottesloe I picked because it has quite a simple shape. So do I just make one of those up in some cheapish swim fabrics and then just sort of have to drape the top of it myself? Because I was also thinking in one, it might be nice to do a nice flutter sleeve. I'm very fair skinned, as you will see, and I burn. I really, really burn. So I often, even when I'm swimming, I often have to have something on my shoulders or on my back because I'll get burnt. So I'm just thinking if I can build that into the swimming suit a bit more, then I just don't have to worry so much. I don't know, but I'm just not finding the patterns that I want. And I think I need to be more proactive and just try to get the basic fit to be good. And then I can judge around with the fluffy extra bits that I think will actually make it look and feel nice to wear. But yeah, if you know of a swimming pattern that's got, as I said, just like a bit of ruching or something over the tummy, just a little bit of something going on there, then do let me know. I would appreciate to know that. I also need to work on getting the right support for the ladies in swimwear. So, because the fabric I've got all has sort of different levels of strength. And I've also got some of that, power mesh. But I've sort of heard you have to be a bit careful where you put it because it can just sort of do weird things. So I basically need to just get on with it and try and sew something, but I'm scared. So any encouraging words for swimwear, let me know. I'm really determined to have nice swimwear on my honeymoon, and I think that's only going to happen if I make it myself. So I need to get on it. Yeah, that's it for me anyway. Blethering on as always. Have a great week. Thank you so much for watching, and if you've got this far, well done. Have a really good weekend, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye.